some of us won't have to wait for the Sony A7V in 2026. That's according to Andrea Pizzini, the owner and editorial director of Sony Alpha Rumors. The Sony A7V is coming, he announced. But how will it match up against the Nikon Z6 Mark III announced in 2024 with a partially stacked sensor and a CF Express Type B card slot, shooting up to 120 frames per second? Then there's the Canon EOS R6 Mark III announced in November 2025, delivering 40 frames per second in RAW, 7K open gate, and RAW pre-capture, to name a few capabilities in this new segment leader. Will the A7V specs deliver value? Should you upgrade or stay with the A7 IV? Click subscribe and we'll get right to it. And please check to see if you're still subscribed, as some viewers have recently reported being unsubscribed by YouTube. Hi, I'm Simon. I love scanning the news and rumor sites, patent applications, and pro forums so you don't have to, saving you time for more important things like watching this video. In my live coverage of the Canon EOS R6 Mark III announcement early Thursday morning, Andrea Pizzini showed up towards the end of the broadcast, and he told us that the A7V would be announced before December. Here's what he had to say. The Canon EOS R6 Mark III is a fantastic release from Canon. It matches the Sony A7 IV's resolution, but offers more speed, better video, and a bunch of extra features. I just got confirmation that the A7V is coming very soon. Stay tuned, that rumor is dropping today. And drop it did, with Andrea giving us just a little bit more information. I got confirmation from another trusted source that the Sony A7V will be announced in very early December. Why so late in the year? As a consumer electronics company, why not release in October and take full advantage of the Christmas rush? The first week of December doesn't really give them much time. Now, are they just trying to post earnings in the last quarter of 2025? Well, perhaps, but I've got some information that kind of indicates that that might not be the case. Or are they doing this because, well, all the press around the Canon EOS R6 Mark III? Are they trying to prevent customers from migrating to the Canon EOS R6 Mark III? Once the embargo was lifted, we saw tons of reviews on the Canon EOS R6 Mark III, saying that it delivers powerful stills and video capabilities, that it's abandoned the 24 megapixels for 32, that they introduced a CF Express Type B card slot, 7K open gate, waveforms, false colors, 15 plus stops of dynamic range, XF HEVC, XF AVC, and RAW pre-capture. The R6 Mark III is now the most powerful camera in this segment. And I'm not the only one that has this viewpoint.
And it makes me wonder if this has to do something with the Canon R6 Mark III counter the announcement of the Canon R6 Mark III. That I don't know, but it's completely unusual. For the first time, we are getting a very important alpha camera announcement in beginning of December.
That's enough conjecture for now. Are you ready for the shipping date? Sony aims to ship the first batch of cameras before Christmas. This means, once again, we need to pre-order right away if we want to have a chance of having the A7V under our Christmas tree. Don't you just love getting new gear in time for Christmas? Now, the way Andrea says this, I get a sneaky sense that Sony doesn't have a whole lot of cameras already made and ready to ship out. And that's why he's saying the first batch may come in time for Christmas, but many of you will probably have to wait until Q1. As far as specifications go, we have very little validated other than the sensor. It will have a resolution of 33 megapixels according to a Sony manager. The A7V will have a new sensor. And this leaked photo backs that up, so validated, right? Well, good. I mean, after 5 years, I'd expect to get a new sensor from Sony, not a recycled sensor from the A7S III with some performance improvements. Now, stacked would be nice, even partially stacked as we see in the Nikon Z6 Mark III. But unfortunately, that's all we have for validated specifications. We do, however, have some rumored specifications, again brought to you by Andrea Pizzini, though they are a little bit on the, how should we say this, dull side. Now, improved continuous shooting from 10 frames per second to what? Well, Andrea has a question mark around 15 frames per second, and seeing that this camera has, well, CF Express Type A, there really is a limit because you're really maxing out at somewhere between 800 and 900 megabytes per second, even with, well, those V4 CF Express Type A cards. Now, it is going to get the new AI chip that we saw in the latest Sony incarnation, and of course that 4-way LCD, which I just love that thing. Dual card slots, that's not really news, we kind of expect that. And no C5 button. That's also validated, as we can see from this image. And of course, there's not a lot of changes to the body design, as we can see from these leaked images. With the A7V just about a month away, I'd expect more capabilities to be leaked. Now, if you've overheard anything that you can share with us, please email me at simondyates@gmail.com so I can share it with, well, the viewers. Now, in a way, we don't need the leaked specifications to know what Sony is going to deliver. You see, the bar for the market segment has already been established. First by Canon with the EOS R6 Mark II in 2022, then by Nikon with the Z6 Mark III in 2024, then again by Canon with the R6 Mark III in November 2025, increasing their resolution up to 32 megapixels, offering the much faster CF Express Type B card slot, 40 frames per second RAW, RAW pre-capture, 7K open gate, XF HEVC, XF AVC, Canon Log 3, Canon Log 2, all intra, long GOP, 15 plus stops of dynamic range, 7K over sample 4K, and many more. Delivering these capabilities would give us a very powerful camera that actually just catches up to the competition, not leapfrogging it. Now, Sony will bring out some sort of new capability that they haven't, and most likely Canon and Nikon, well, haven't brought out to the market yet. But what if Sony doesn't deliver on these capabilities from the market leader, merely catches up to some, lags on others, doesn't do anything that makes it a clear market leader, but a good solid camera nonetheless? Does that make the A7V a loser? Would you migrate from Sony if that was the case? Look around you. Look at all your lenses. Do they deliver any less functionality today than they did when you got them? Does the A7 IV continue to deliver on what you need that helps you with your workflow to deliver for your clients? Look at the A7V as extending your capabilities, improving upon your workflow. And if the A7V doesn't do that, well, then stay with what works and save yourself the money. Don't worry about gas or FOMO. There's always going to be a new camera, a better camera. And if we're always looking for the best, well, I think we're never going to be satisfied. I'm glad to see the competition between Nikon, Canon, and Sony heating up like never before. It only means better cameras in the future. And maybe, just maybe, Sony won't make us wait another 5 years for the A7 VI. The A7V doesn't have to be the best camera on the market to be, well, the best camera for you. Now, with all that being said, if you are planning to pre-order, to upgrade to the A7V after 5 long years of waiting, when the embargo is lifted in early December, please consider using my smart pre-order links for B&H and Adorama in the United States, Wex Photo and Video in the United Kingdom, and Photoca in Europe. I plan to do a live stream to cover this event once we know the exact date and time, and seeing that it's just around 4 weeks away, we should know that pretty soon. Now, I should share a little bit of information for disclosure purposes. For each purchase you make with my links, we get a small commission, helping to keep the lights on and avoid those pesky minute-long plus sponsorships. I appreciate everything you guys do for me, from watching to commenting to using my links. It really does mean a lot to me. And whenever I meet up with any of you, it's always great to talk to you. If you see me anywhere out doing something, then say hi. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. This is something that I've been very proud of, that's built a community, and generally the conversations, they're very good. We don't have a lot of, how should we say, those aggressive polar conversations that we see on X. And part of the reason for that is I go in there, and if I see anyone just trying to get people angry, I remove those comments, because that's not what we're here about. I don't care if you think Canon's the best, Nikon's the best, or Sony's the best. we all love cameras, and I might think that the R5 II is the best camera because I put my money on it, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate the A7V or the Z6 Mark III, or even the Nikon ZR, and I am really excited with what Nikon's got planned for that. I've got another video coming out on that alone, and actually, you know what, I'm going to cover Profusion and put that in there as well, because I think that's pretty exciting. So more information will leak out shortly, hopefully by somebody reaching out to me through my email address that I've already specified. Subscribe and we'll bring it to you as soon as we get it. It won't be long. The wait, folks, is finally over. Cheers. Bye-bye now.